All right. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is 1:15 a.m., November 13th, 2025. If you're listening on Spotify, sorry, man. I don't know what's going on with Spotify, dude. It was acting weird earlier. Every time I want to publish an episode, it's not even YouTube. It's like Spotify only. It just acts weird. I don't fucking get it, man. I don't know if it could be, honestly, maybe something like where it's a more primitive server than like YouTube or something. Maybe like that's their busiest hours, so it's not able to, you know what I mean? It doesn't have I don't know. I'm not a tech savvy motherfucker. But yeah, just got off work. Kind of a rough day, dude. This is the third week in a row that my boss, my store manager, has scheduled me to close kitchen and work register from 4 to midnight by myself. But the kitchen doesn't close until 6:30. So I'm supposed to get a gigantic list of chores done for the actual gas station, plus cook, plus close the kitchen, which takes like probably like 2 hours, you know. Luckily a coworker did stay, but it kind of pissed me off that the coworker did not help with any chores whatsoever. She stayed for like 3 hours and did not help with any chores for the gas station section. And here I am stuck in kitchen, closing kitchen. Like, I don't know. Clark's Pump and Shop, dude, is just it's getting worse and worse and worse. And the thing is like everyone's head's about to roll. Like the main store manager, she's about to get fired. The chick that I'm talking about who stayed and helped, I got told the other day by another manager she's about to get fired. I don't know. It's like they're wanting to chop heads, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just becoming hell there, dude. So I got a buy me a coffee account set up in the link below. If you want to help out the channel, it helps. If you send me some money, I'll get you a bumper sticker. If you give a donation, let me show you the bumper stickers real quick. The only reason I keep putting these back up is because my stupid cat keeps tearing shit up. And I don't want these tore up. So if you do a donation through Buy Me a Coffee, you get one of those cool ass stickers. And I have 2 polls going out right now. One on YouTube, one on Spotify. I might make bookmarks next, or more bumper stickers. I'm not sure. Depends how the polls go. There's my cat, Horace. Yeah, let's get on with the show. That's about it for an intro, man. Just living life, playing video games. Oh, I'm currently playing Ninja Turtles Battle Nexus 2. That will be my next game review for my other podcast, which is Blue Pill Podcast. So look forward to that. Alright, let's get on with the show. I apologize for no intro music. Sammy is trying to sleep. She's got to get up she's got to be at work by 8. So probably 6 or 7 a.m. So I watch a lot of conspiracy TikToks. I don't have a TikTok account. I'm not fucking with it. It's Israeli owned now. So, hey, if you want to have fun with Mossad shit, go for it. Before it was Chinese shit, so I didn't like it back then, and I still don't like it now that it's run by Jews. But I watch a lot of YouTubers who react to TikTok conspiracy clips. To me, I think if you're doing TikTok clips and shit, it's kind of lazy format. If you're not able to do long form speaking, I don't know. I just grew up on talk radio. I love podcast, and to me, it's just like shitty, lazy content. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm gonna throw some shade. I don't care, because it's so stupid to watch these little clips because they're literally rushing through information, and it's like, no, I would like to hear more details. I only have 5 seconds to tell you. You know, it's dumb. It's like, no, I want to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But I did come across someone who was reviewing TikTok videos. So I have a whole nother segment in this podcast. It's under movie reviews, but I call it the conspiracy cinema segment, where I watch conspiracy movies and or documentaries, just whole films, and I review them and talk about them and my thoughts on them. So there's this documentary that's been going around, and all these conspiracy TikTokers have been talking about it. It's a dude who's an atheist, and he did a documentary on curses. So he purposely volunteered himself for a curse. And I haven't watched the documentary yet, so I will probably do a conspiracy cinema episode on this. But apparently he's a full-blown atheist, and like after he cursed himself, quote unquote, his life started becoming fucked up. Everyone in the crew who was helping him film the documentary, their lives became fucked up. And it almost like made him go from a atheist to like an agnostic. I haven't seen the documentary yet, so I don't know if he converted to anything, but it kind of hints during the trailer, because I did watch the trailer, that he kind of becomes like a believer in curses. And we haven't really covered curses too much on this channel. We need to cover Chief Cornstalk, definitely, from Point Pleasant. But the only time I can think of that we ever really truly covered a curse was there was a listener email. Go check it out. I think the episode's titled Spider Symbolism and a Hex, I believe is what it's titled. I'll link it below in Spotify. If you're on YouTube, it's in the listener email playlist. But yeah, I haven't really covered curses much. It's something I'm very curious in as someone who dabbles in the occult and has interest in the occult. But yeah, let's get on with the story. So this is faith and dark arts collide in a cursed man, which I believe the film is called A Cursed Man. Liam Guillou is not the type of person you picture walking into homes of hoodoo priests in New Orleans and entering the caves of South America devil worshippers. If anything, the documentary director looks like the kind of guy you'd see on Sunday afternoon to visit a hardware store or on a Target run. What I mean to say is that he's the last person on earth I consider calling a cursed man. And it's an Italiation, so I believe that's the name of this documentary. Yet he is, in fact, just that, inviting the audience on a journey into magic, belief, mysticism, and energy. Guillou, I haven't took French since high school, sorry. Navigates the dark parts of religious practices, seeking a curse that will prove or debunk the existence of divine magic one way or another. So, you guys know me, man. I love... By the way, this poster art is awesome. Fucking flaming pentagram. Do you believe? Marketing. Whoever did marketing for this, props to you. I love the concept, though, of like an atheist, like the movie 1408. If you've ever seen that movie, it's fucking awesome. It's a Stephen King short story, but it's one of my favorite actors, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. 1408. He played in a bunch of shit that I love. The fuck is his name? Anyways, he's like a paranormal investigator, and he writes ghost books. And the thing is, though, his daughter dies. He hates God, and he becomes like an atheist. And the thing is like, he used to do all these investigations, and he never found evidence for the supernatural or paranormal. Now, you guys know how I feel about this. I told you guys that I've had a demonic experience, which that's the only terms I can put it in, because I was raised Christian. But it could have been a jinn, or an interdimensional being. I don't know what it was. I've had UFO experience. I've seen orbs. I've been under the influence of Reiki. I've seen enough to know that there's something out there. But I do have to say this, though, man. Sometimes I don't think you can really choose when and where you see this shit. Because I noticed this with ghost hunting. Me and my wife, we have a ghost hunting team. We haven't done it in years, but we called it Spectre. And we would ghost hunt for fun on days off and stuff. And I don't know, we wouldn't really catch much. Once in a blue moon, we'd catch like a sliver of an EVP or catch an orb. But most of the time, man, we would go to these super, quote unquote, super haunted locations and wouldn't really catch anything. And it almost turns you into a skeptic after a while. So, at the start of Accursed Man, Guillou warns his audience about the residual effects of watching his latest film. Okay, so there's already a disclaimer. Be careful watching this. The rituals and dark magic held within the video are real, and he reminds the viewers right away that he cannot be responsible for their choice to continue. Guillou, who admits he doesn't believe in these types of things, approaches this film with respect for those who do. Okay? And these types of things, and as such, his warning is somewhat pertinent. A choice to witness these events unfold or to walk away unscathed. I have to imagine the various shamans he visits had to speak with him to understand the gravity of where they were coming from. Likely the same way they speak to him about seeking the darkness. So, marketing. Best way to fucking get people to watch your film is say, don't watch this shit. I do have to say that. Now, am I calling Guillou a scumbag for that? No. I do clickbait. And people go, what? Abe does clickbait? Of course. I choose the most coolest looking fucking thumbnails I can, I mean, I'm not over here selling anything, but I get it. There's nothing wrong with marketing. I understand that. So, of course, the best way to get me to watch something is to tell me not to watch it. I've always been like that. I used to own a copy of Mein Kampf. I gave it away, but I have a Quran. I've owned Mein Kampf. You tell me don't read this book. Don't read it, Abe. First thing I'm going to do is go out to the bookstore, if it's at a bookstore, if it's not banned, and go and buy it and read it. Don't do it. My brother did this shit with Zeitgeist years ago, my oldest brother. Don't watch Zeitgeist, man. First thing I did is went out and watched Zeitgeist. It'll destroy your Christianity. Dude, I haven't been a Christian since 14 years old. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? You really don't know me, brother. But yeah, so perfect marketing. I commend Le Guillou on what he's trying to do with a cursed man, putting his soul on the line to understand some of the more vastly misunderstood faiths on earth, attempting to touch the darkness. If you look into the darkness looks back. And have it follow him back home. So it sounds like whatever the curse happened, it followed him back home. Maybe. From my own spiritual perspective of skepticism, it is wild to me. When Le Guillou talks with his wife at the start of the film, she calls him the Mulder to her Scully. Aw, that's sweet. And the Le Guillou wants to believe. I get that. And I think a lot of atheists want something similar. Seeing is believing, right? However, objectively and even scientifically, Le Guillou's experience can also be tainted by such results. It's the reason Mulder and Scully work as a team, because even wanting to believe can alter the evidence. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because there's I disagree with that, honestly, because I want to believe in gnomes and fae folk, and I want to believe in Sasquatch. Me and my wife have went Sasquatch hunting. I didn't get any fucking evidence of Sasquatch. Me and my wife have went ghost hunting multiple times. I want to believe. I want to see this shit. But we've always been super Occam's razor, super skeptical. And people will go, oh, what are you, an atheist? You don't believe in this shit? No, I believe in it. I can't find evidence of it when I go looking for evidence of it. It shows up to me, and it's up for you to believe that story that I just told you would have happened to me when I was a kid. I stopped seeing it after a certain age. Now, does that mean that I shut something off? Perhaps. Maybe. I've heard that theory that you almost, the older you get, you lose your sixth sense. But at the same time, I still get prophecies and shit. And it's small stuff. I get feelings, and I'm right a lot of the time. I do witchcraft, and I know witchcraft is real. But so I don't know, I kind of disagree on that, of if you go into a place wanting to believe that you're going to you're going to be biased, I guess would be the word. I don't know. I disagree. I always go in I want this to be real, but we'll see, That's the way I go in. Le Guillou visits 3 different dark art-affiliated religions. He first visits the Green Man in Los Angeles. I believe that's Celtic shit, man. Where he meets the leaders of a coven, then heads to New Orleans to meet a voodoo priest Divine Prince, Ty Emeka, and hoodoo practitioner Sin Elias. Everyone he meets tells him the same thing, that Le Guillou is actively seeking to harm himself and express concerns that he shouldn't continue. So they all warn him. Which Father Griffin said and which Mother Carrie Wolfe are among the most benevolent and empathetic people appearing in A Cursed Man. And to be honest, most of the people he speaks with present that way. But even they eventually agree to perform an enchantment over Le Guillou, assuring him that the spell is reversible. Even still, Le Guillou is satisfied to up the stakes, receiving a curse in New Orleans before going to Mayong, India, aka the land of black magic, in Veracruz, Mexico, searching for a profound perspective-altering shift. As Le Guillou continues his documentary. He seeks out conversations with scientists and psychologists, seeking Dr. Michel D'Amico after his curses begin disrupting his sleep and causing precipitous trepidation over his daily routines. These conversations seem to be the most revealing to me, as ideas of the human psyche and the powers of positive thinking become active conversational points. Could the call for a curse come from inside the house? I do believe that. And I believe in manifestation. It's funny, I put this episode out on the 13th. Dun dun dun, you know. But I mean, I do believe if you're already implanting that into your head, your day or week or month or year is going to be utter shit. You have to fight that shit with no, it will be a good day. I like to do this spell that the FBI declassified during a FOIA request. They tell every FBI agent to do it, and it literally, because they already know that we're in a simulation, whether you believe it's like an actual Matrix type style or a realm or whatever, but it's universe, show me how good it gets. And it becomes like a mantra, a spell. FBI and CIA are using witchcraft. You probably should too, you know. The pressure Guillou has placed on himself to become a cursed man is also bleeding into the worry that something terrible is going to happen to him. Whether you believe in quote-unquote bad vibes or mojo or not, agonizing over when the next shoe will drop is as definable as hell as any. And as he continues his journey into darker magic, it eventually manifests itself into a physical way. So, Guillou, are you sitting on my ashtray, bro? Yes, you are. I love you, but that's redonkulous. Guillou ties these notions together well. If you believe you are cursed, then you may as well be cursed. Psychologically, these maladies have an effect. Yet regardless of that, is it evidence of black magic? The fact that we can ask the question becomes adjacent to Arthur C. Clarke's 3 laws. So before we get into these 3 laws, I have talked about this multiple times. I believe in egregores, tulpas. So I get on to the Christians all the time on this channel. And people are like, he's always picking on the Christians. Yes, but you guys are a menace to society. You believe in demons. You believe in the devil. And I always go back to this experiment. Read the Mothman prophecies. It's this big. It's shorter than you guys' Bible. Oh, wait, you guys don't read the Bible. You can read this in 2 days. There's an experiment in that book about how a bunch of college kids created a ghost in a hotel that was not haunted. And now to this day, this hotel is haunted with a girl in a red dress. They created a tulpa. The Christians would say, no, they summoned it. No, they didn't. There was no history at all of this girl being there. They created it. Once you start understanding egregores and tulpas, then you'll understand why Jesus walked on water. Then you'll understand how Moses split the Red Sea. You can control reality. I can make this lighter float. If I sit here every single day and say this lighter will fly across the room, eventually this lighter will fly across the room. Now people seeing that will go, oh, it was a poltergeist, a demon. No, I did it. I just manifested it. It took days to do it, maybe weeks, maybe months, but I made the lighter fly across the room without touching it. Oh, he's telekinetic. No, you control reality. I control reality. You just don't understand it yet. You can't wrap your head around it. But yeah, all these Christians saying, oh, I'm cursed. Oh, I have a heretical curse. Oh, there's demons in my house. My son's possessed by the devil. You know, you keep saying that, you might actually end up controlling his reality and he'll end up in prison for murdering someone. Good job, Mom. Well, it was the devil that did it. No, you did it. You just don't realize how much power you have. Once people wrap their head around this, we can have a beautiful earth. I'm telling you, we'll live in a beautiful reality. So what is Arthur C. Clarke's 3 laws? When a distinguished but elderly scientist states that something is possible, he is almost certainly right. When he states that something is impossible, he is very probably wrong. The only way to discovering the limits of the possible is to venture a little way past them into the impossible. That's rule 1 and 2. Rule 3, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Agreed. And by the way, I've said this a billion times on the channel too. Where do you think that medicine comes from? Or science comes from? It comes from the witches before. Go look at my Halloween special that I did earlier this year. I did 2 of them. Go check out the first one. It was the first and only witch to be burnt in Northern America. And what it was is she was skilled in herbology, medicine. But that's witchcraft, you know. So they burnt this poor girl alive. Same with our alchemist. You know, anytime people hear the word alchemy or, you know, witchcraft, they're super skeptical and judgmental about it, but they'll go to the local pharmacy, Walgreens or CVS, and get their head meds for the day. You're participating in witchcraft and alchemy. Who do you think created that shit? Witches and wizards. I love Christians, the hypocrisy of them. These adages seem to be jumping off point for Guillou's A Cursed Man and his attempt to understand beyond his own principles, philosophies, and limitations. If magic exists, it also has to do a lot with our own faith and fears about it. There's still much that we don't fully understand about this big blue marble we reside on. Or is it a disc? Or is it a plane? Or is it a realm? Sorry. But like Guillou, I think I'd rather ask the question and try to unravel the response. Whether audiences feel Guillou's doc contains a real encounter with dark forces, or it's a story of putting yourself in a stressful situation and putting faith in healing, will be for each beholder. Still, it's a provocative line to toe with interesting cultural insights, credence, and respect for those who don't believe, as well as the most devout. The trailer will tell you that it's a supersize me of black magic. That was a good doc, I ain't gonna lie. And I'm inclined to believe it. Though I think Guillou's approach is far more assuaged, as he is more inclined to choose feeling better than continuing to make himself suffer. So, on the technical side of A Cursed Man, Guillou uses high-quality cameras that capture the immense beauty of the idyllic remote territories said to house the most ancient evils. However, my biggest issue is that Guillou often frames voiceovers as if he is about to go on a commercial break, and the film's score helps to entertain those proposed cliffhangers. Well, yeah, that's Hollywood magic. Hollywood. However, this is a nitpick, an arousing and immersive philosophical conversation that subtly seeks understanding at a volatile time for groups associated with the dark arts. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want me to watch and risk myself? Watch and review this for a Conspiracy Cinema segment? Let me know in the comments if you've seen this film. Let me know your thoughts on this film. Let me know your thoughts in general on anything that I've said today. Love you all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you all have a good day. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.